My name is Yeong Kim, and I'm a faculty member in the Human Development and Family Sciences program at the University of Texas at Austin. To prepare oneself to be a competitive candidate for PhD programs, the most important thing is having strong research experience that's high quality and that fits the work of the PhD advisor that you want to work with. For example, I'm reading an applicant for the PhD program who describes doing research in a completely unrelated area to what I do research in, but then they say in their personal statement that they want to switch to my area of research. So yes, of course, there's going to be instances where students want to switch topics from their undergraduate research they may have done to their PhD program. That's understandable. But when the student is switching topics a bit too drastically, then the potential PhD advisor questioning themselves, like maybe is this person the right fit, because the fit with the research doesn't seem as closely aligned as they would like it to be relative to the research that the student has done in the past. So being a competitive candidate for a PhD program means that you have a very strong fit in terms of your past research experience with the research that you want to do with the new faculty member you want to work with. So I'm going to give an example of a student. She had such breadth and depth of work. So for example, she was an undergraduate student at a very top tier research university in California. And I do research on, for example, immigrant families. And I noticed that specific university had about 2 or 3 faculty members who were all top scholars in that field. And she made sure as an undergraduate student that she had research experience with each and every one of those top people at that university. So she stood out immediately from the rest of the pool because her research experience and the people she worked with aligned so well with the type of research I was doing and what I was looking for in a PhD student. So in order to be a competitive candidate for PhD programs, the number one thing you need to do is have good grades. Because if you don't have good grades, then you're not providing very good, convincing case that you're going to be able to survive in a very rigorous PhD program. And because the field of psychology and human development is so focused on statistics and modeling and statistical modeling, we're also looking for very strong grades in methods and statistics type courses. So not only are you needing to have a strong GPA, but also strong grades in methods and statistics courses. And if you don't have a GPA of at least 3.5, it's going to be pretty challenging to get into a PhD program. Students who are getting offers and are doing well in the interview process are typically we're seeing GPAs of 3.8, 3.9 and above out of a 4-point scale. The second most important thing is that research experience. You want to have quality research experience with top people in the field. And if you happen to be at a setting, for example, maybe you're at a liberal arts college where you don't have researchers who are big names in their field, at minimum, then you still want to show that you've done research. And if you can show products that you have delivered, like for example, you've presented at a conference or you co-author a research paper that got published, that's always going to help you in standing out. You also will want to have a statement of purpose that's very strong and very compelling, and of course, strong letters of recommendation. The statement of purpose is very important because it shows whether the fit with that particular faculty member you want to work with is there or not. And the recommendation letters are also important because when I'm reading recommendation letters, for example, we're reading for red flags. Is this the type of student who's going to come through when things are going to be tough in grad school? Or are they not going to come through because when they get overwhelmed, they won't be able to meet deadlines and things like that? So the 4 things that are important are strong grades, GPA, strong research experience, strong statement of purpose that connects with the faculty member you want to work with, strong recommendation letters that speaks to how well you're going to do, how reliable you will be, and how punctual you'll be, and whether you're going to be resilient when things are going to be tough in your PhD program. So students who are applying typically are often describing, for example, in their personal statements, what faculty have published maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But remember that given that it takes about a year or longer to get a paper published, and then even at the time, by the time a paper is published, the faculty member has been thinking about that topic more like 5 years ago, because it would take them, that much time to get a grant written, grant submitted, and then after the grant is submitted and funded, then they're writing the paper. And by the time it's published, it's been probably about 5 years since they first thought about that research question. So we're looking for students who have a really strong fit with what the faculty member is working on now. And sometimes students don't really realize that, and they're talking about research the faculty member was thinking about like 5 years ago rather than today. And so the best ways to figure out what the faculty member is doing now is going on the faculty website, seeing what is the currently funded research they're doing. And oftentimes that research abstract of what they're working on is going to be published online. So for example, if a faculty member is funded by National Institutes of Health, you can go to this database called NIH Reporter, and it will have the abstract of the grant that they're currently funded in. And if the faculty member is funded through the National Science Foundation, the National Science Foundation awarded research grant database will also have the abstract. So it's really important that students are looking to see what is already out there about their current research that may not be published yet, but that's what the faculty member is looking for. And so students really want to speak to like what their current thinking is about what that faculty member is working on, and making sure that they speak to that research area rather than what that research was 2 or 3 years ago, which may be in the form of publications that are currently being published. A personal statement is very important. So when I'm looking through an application, the first thing I look at is their grades and their GPA. And then the next thing I read is their personal statement. And the most common things I see with personal statements is they do a narrative, which is sort of linear. They start like where they're from, the research experience they have, the first, second, third research experience. And then the last paragraph talks about how it may be a fit with the faculty member they want to work with and why they want to go to that specific institution. So that's the common format of personal statements. But what's so interesting is the part that I'm looking for is sort of what is towards the end of that personal statement, which is, why is that person applying to work with the faculty member they're applying to? So I would really like to recommend that students, when they are crafting their personal statements, talking about the motivation behind, what is it about their past experience of research make a good fit with the faculty member they want to work with? And what is it about their past research experience that they didn't get to do that they want to accomplish with the new faculty member that they want to work with in their PhD program? And talk about their fit with the program they want to enroll in pretty early in the personal statement, because oftentimes when I'm reading applications, I have to scroll through like sometimes 2-3 pages to find the paragraph that I'm looking for, to see how the students think their past experiences fit or will expand the work that they will do once they get to the PhD program they want to enroll in. So if they can not go in a linear trend, but start with why that university, that faculty member, that research lab is the best fit, and starting with that would be desirable rather than putting that towards the end, because it's almost always at the end of most personal statements.